very warm welcome here to the Arena Cup in Innsbruck. It's the second Arena Cup here in Austria and the first one in 2016. And we're about to get started with round number 3 of the trading card game. Alongside Andrei Vlaich, I'm Julian Schaff and we'll be guiding you through the action today.
Thank you, Julian. So today in the Arena Cup we have 45 masters in TCG, 11 seniors and 4 juniors. And for the video game segment, we have 16 masters and 2 seniors. So I think this will be a really good day today.
And we'll be starting with round number 3. Actually, we already have one of the participants of the next Pokémon World Cup with Manuel Jorach. He'll be on the down right corner here on your screen as we will be jumping right into the action. And on the top right hand side is Oliver Bartz. We'll have Manuel Jorach playing a Seismitoad Giratina deck, supported by Hoopa EX and some other surprises you'll be seeing soon. And on the other hand, we'll be seeing Oliver Bartz with the new Eviltal, the baby Eviltal here, as you can see from XY8. And he is playing Manectric and Mega Manectric. So it's going to be interesting to see as Manuel's deck is... Oh, that looks like a rough start. He wasn't able to play any supporters at all, just attaches a double colorless. He is looking forward to discard as many energy cards as he can from Oliver's field. However, Oliver has Pokemon that are able to accelerate energy from that discard pile. So it's very, very interesting to see if Manuel can really walk through with his strategy in this matchup.
So what does this matchup mean for both players? What are the quirks here?
In this matchup, Manuel is looking forward to actually being able to disable a lot of different cards that Oliver would like to play. As you can see here, Giratina on your left-hand side. Chaos Via is able to disable or not allow the opponent to play any Pokemon tools, any special energy, or stadium cards the turn after Manuel has attached with it. And also, Giratina has a very handy ability that prevents any damage done from any Mega Pokemon. For example, Mega Manectric EX. So if Manuel is fast enough to get going with his Chaos Wheel or with his Seismitoad's Quaking Punch, I think he will have the upper hand, but looking at this rough start in round number 1, I think he's going to have a tough time. I can't see his cards here, but I'm curious to see his round number 2. We see Oliver looking through his actions, his options. He actually has a Judge in hand, but I'm not sure if he really wants to play that card as it's shuffling in both players' cards and lets them draw 4 more ones, and he decides, no, I want to play that Skylar. I want to look for 1 trainer card and put it into my hand. I think that's a smart move. He's eyeing out that Battle Compressor, it appears. It's always important to look through your deck and see how many copies of each cards are in there, especially the crucial ones like Sycamore, Lysander. You want to see how many options you are going to have. And he decides to go with an Ultra Ball. Not shuffling his deck, that means he's probably going to play it. There we go. Discarding the Judge as he does. And as he's playing 2 Shaman EX, I think that might be a good time to get one of them. Well, he goes with that Manectric. I thought he had one in hand, but I might be mistaken.
So what does the Manectric mean for him here? Why did he choose this Pokemon especially? Well,
if he wants to get out that Mega Manectric, he knows he'll have to attach the Spirit Link to Manectric EX very soon to avoid him losing a turn. So, he had a Shaman in his hand already. I didn't see that. And because of Chaos Wheel, if Manuel is able to attack next turn, that would mean that he can't play any tools whatsoever, and that means Manectric will evolve, causing Oliver to lose 1 turn. So maybe he was looking to get that tool immediately, but looking at his hand, that just looks awful. It's a tough decision. He uses Versus Seeker to get one of his supporters back, but he uses Judge, and he knows he doesn't want to play Judge next turn if Manuel's hand is really as bad as he thinks it is. And there we go. It's a head ringer attached to Manectric. Now all of its attacks will cost 1 more. One of many crushing hammer that Manuel is playing. I think it was Tails. Floatstone. He's playing in this escape rope. I think Manuel just needs to get rid of many cards as he has a Shaman EX in hand. He needs to play so many cards so that he can at least draw 1 or 2 cards. He does. He just finds a Judge and a double Dragon Energy. That's huge. Super Scooper for that Jirachi. It's Tails again. Yeah, I think he's going with that Judge. He knows the Judge is coming anyway. Oliver eyed one out as well. And there we go.
So Judge seems to be played quite often.
It actually wasn't a choice when XY8 came out. Judge was kind of neglected, and I was wondering why, because it's one of the only supporters out there that can disrupt your opponent's hand while it is your turn. Everyone was playing N, but N rotated out of the standard format just recently. We know we will get N again in XY10, that is coming out in May, but up till then, Judge is the only option you'll have to reduce the number of cards that your opponent has in hand. So both players at 4 cards now. Manuel's Giratina EX is actually able to attack. Does 100 damage because it has that Floatstone instead of a Muscle Band. So Shaman is barely hanging in there with just 10 HP. Now, looking at Oliver's option, I don't like his hand at all. Now that Chaos Wheel was played, he has 2 Pokemon tools in hand, both Spiritlings from Manectric. He can play it because his Manectric 1 has already a Pokemon tool, and 2 because Giratina attacked. So 2 dead cards already in his hand. I saw a Judge. The Battle Compressor will allow him to discard a couple of energy to reuse later on. This is looking as bad as Manuel's first turn was, and it's just at least as bad for Oliver now.
Now with Manuel getting the Shaman out and the Seismitoad X, I think he's in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, it's always good to have both options. Manuel is really relying on Giratina for high damage output and Seismitoad for field control, not allowing Oliver to play any item cards if it's safe for Seismitoad to attack. And in some occasions, Manuel's deck will rely only on one of them. For example, if you're up against Vespiquen, very strong grass type in this current metagame, Seismitoad doesn't do very well against it. It's almost always a one-hit knockout, but Giratina can hang on a little bit more. Against Manectric, both Pokemon have a good spot, good spots to attack. As Oliver is using his Shaman to... He has 7 cards in hands, maybe I missed something. He was discarding a Professor Sycamore, I didn't catch that. So he played that with Versus Seeker. Much better than the Judge. Looking to play an Ultra Ball here. I wonder if he thinks, okay, I have to give up this turn most likely. My Eviltar is not going to attack. So I might look for that Mega Manectric right now. Attach an energy and end my turn. That way, if everything goes well, he might be able to attack next turn. However, Giratina has this ability that will prevent any damage done from any Mega Pokemon. So, really, really curious to see what's going on here. I think he went with Mega Manectric. I didn't see it, but I think he took it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Manuel shuffling his hand.
What is what win condition does he have with Mega Manectric?
I think, he has 4 prizes he has in sight already. That is Shaman on the bench and also Seismitoad on the bench. So he has also, looking at his deck list, maybe I can check if he's playing a Hex Maniac. Hex Maniac would disable the Pokemon power that Giratina has, but I think he's not playing it.
No, it's not in there, no.
Without that Hex Maniac, there's no way of getting around that Pokemon power. So he will have to eye out for that Shaman and also Seismitoad on the bench. Or maybe he's going to power up another Manectric EX. He put it down already for an attack later on. He just needs to get some energy acceleration going because he knows Manuel is playing a lot of Crushing Hammers, 4 to be exact. And if he lands some of them, that might be already game deciding. So Oliver is preparing to defend against that, and I think he's doing the right thing. We'll see if it pays off. Also Manuel with a nice looking Skyline in his discard pile. That's the new one from Breakpoint. Nice and shiny, nice and full art. Oh, and Manuel decides to attach another double Dragon Energy. He doesn't have too many options here to attach any energy anyway. So he decided to attach it this turn. And Oliver has a Shaman, a Versus Seeker, and a double colorless energy. He's thinking about attaching the double colorless maybe. First of all, Shaman, draw up to 6 cards.
So, but if I see this right, your Giratina has more energy attached to it than it needs for the attack. So is he preparing to switch up?
I'm wondering. He already has a Floatstone attached to it. However, this Floatstone is currently disabled by Eviltal's ability that is currently active. But I don't think it matters too much. With that 6 energy attached to it, maybe he is afraid of Crushing Hammers, but also again looking at Oliver's deck list, there are no Crushing Hammers in there. So
yeah.
I think because he played a supporter and he wasn't able to play that Professor Sycamore, I think he's just putting that energy down. He knows he's going to attach it somewhere else next turn. So I think there was no big pro but no big con to do what he did. Now there was the switch. Now it's Mega Manectric active. I don't think he has a way to actually be able to deal some damage this turn. He has no access to Lysander. His bench is full. There's no way he can deal any damage. So he just attacks with Turbo Bolt. The effect still takes place, so he's able to attach 2 energy to that Eviltal, to that baby Eviltal, preparing that for an attack later on.
So what did we see here?
Manuel actually decided to not play that Professor Sigma. I can't see his hand right now. I'm curious to see to learn what he's actually got from that extra card when he started the turn. He decided to attack with Chaos Will, dealing 100 damage, leaving Manectric with 110 HP. I can't see it. Can you see it?
No, unfortunately
I can't see his hand.
He's holding it up. He's hiding it pretty good from us.
Oliver, on his side, however, is playing that Professor Sycamore. He got an energy, but now Eviltal is ready to attack. The rest, well, he can play that Trainer's Mail, but what is he actually looking for? He might want to keep that for next turn. I don't know if there's a Lysander already in his discard pile. That's what he needs next turn. But this turn he's going to finally deal some damage in this first game of the match. Eviltal for the win.
So did Oliver manage to turn the tables here? Or is he
he's far from that, I believe. He still has to. Well, the good thing is, now we will see an interesting card. That's Absol. Maybe that was the reason he decided to not play that Professor Sycamore last turn. Now he's playing it. Oh, we'll see some magic now.
So now we can see
Another-
him dropping another
Another crushing hammer
crushing
there.
hammer. Thank you.
Was it heads this time?
I think no. I couldn't see them. Sorry.
He deals that damage, and with Absol's Pokemon power, he was able to actually move 30 damage from one to the other Pokemon on your opponent's side. He decided to take it from Shaman. Shaman is going to go down to any hit anyway, but this time he was able to actually one-shot that Yveltal. Very smart move from Manuel. And now Yveltal is going down again, and there's massive damage on that Mega Manectric. If Manuel is able to get back that Absol to his hand again, as he's playing a couple of super scoop-ups, and attacking with Chaos Wheel again, that Mega Manectric might go down next turn as well. So, to your question again, I think for Oliver to turn the tables here, I don't want to call it a miracle, but finally he gets that Lysander. You can see he picked it immediately. He needed that Lysander so bad to finally deal some damage to Pokemon on the bench. And now I'm curious to see if he's going with Seismitoad or if he's picking up 2 prize cards with that Shaman. He's going for the 2 prize cards. That Seismitoad would not go down, it would live with just one damage counter left to knock it out, and it's just too big of a risk for Manuel to find a super scoop up. So Shaman is knocked out, the first 2 prize cards to Oliver. Now it looks like he was able to bounce back, but with 1 prize card taken more than Manuel, but Manuel is in the commanding position here. All he needs is a heads on that Absol, in my opinion, and then he goes for it. He has that super scoop up. Was it heads? I can't see it.
I think it's a 5.
Oliver was also wondering. Oh. And there's another Giratina, nice and shiny, nice full art design, another double dragon energy attached to it. Is Manuel able to somehow find another super scoop up? And AZ would do too. He plays AZ, I know that. What is he playing? I can't see it. Was it Skylar? No, it's Ultra Ball.
Yeah, it was an Ultra Ball. And he got another Seismitoad X. I see.
I'm wondering if he's really putting it down or if he's just taking it to discard later on and thin out his deck. Yeah, he is just thinning out his deck. Waiting for Oliver to shuffle it. He's kind of crumbling his deck. A little bit nervous there.
Oh, well, he's in a good position. I'm sure he wants to take this home. Oh no, he's in a bad position, I'm sorry. And of course, the pressure can get to you.
Now let's see.
Still the first game.
Does Manuel have another super scoop up? He's hiding his hand again. There's that Fighting Fury belt that is adding 40 HP to any basic Pokemon it's attached to, plus 10 more damage. And now Manuel might be kicking himself that actually his active Giratina has a Pokemon tool attached to it already. Could have used that right now. But no, Manuel is not able to deal that final 10 damage. Maybe next round though.
Yeah, so you've spoken often about the card Super Scoop Up. So what does it mean for the players to get this card?
Well, the Super Scoop Up is a very flippy card, and if you flip heads, you can scoop up one of your Pokemon in play and all the cards attached to it. And because that Absol's ability activates when you put it down, Manuel would have been able to move around 30 more damage counters again. Hence, really knocking out that Mega Manectric in that turn. And on the other hand, Giratina and also Seismitoad are very bulky. So with 180 HP plus Fighting Fury Belt, 220 HP, even if your opponent deals a little bit of damage, you just flip heads, you pick up that card, you crush your opponent's soul, and he's not able to draw prize cards, especially looking at an attacker like Yveltal, you can see now on Oliver's side. It's only dealing 60 plus 60 damage. That's just not enough to deal one-hit KOs. And that makes your deck really, weak against cards like Super Scoop Up. He decides to play Judge. Both players draw 4 more cards. Manuel doesn't seem to mind. He's he's saying, there's another chance to get me that Super Scoop Up. I like my chances here. Let's see, versus Seeker. Nah, I don't think so.
No, there's none at hand.
Oh, and Oliver, if I'm Oliver, I don't really know what I'm looking for right now. Manuel is in such a commanding position. He has a max ether.
Is there something he could do to come back to in this game?
It's going to be tough. I mean, if Manectric is able to attack and looks like it's going to be able to attack now, he can knock out that Giratina that is currently active. As it only has 180 HP, 120 left, Manectric is dealing exactly that kind of damage. I think he has to... Oh no, he decides to actually go for the double knockout next round. I'm really curious to see what happens now. He must know that Manuel might have the chance to pick up one of these Pokemon with Super Scoop Up. If I was him, maybe I would have decided to go with the Manectric on the bench and deal the 120 damage. Exactly, now here we go. There's another hurdle for him to overcome, and there's another AZ. We can see it already. He has to decide for which Pokemon to use it, but Manuel can now rescue one of those 2 Pokemon. He might also go with Absol if he's going to be aggressive. You can see him pondering. Yeah, he's going aggressive. Yep. He's taking 30 damage. Oh. He's actually not going to aim that Mega Manectric on the bench. He's going to knock out that Yveltal. So he might be... Okay, my mistake, because as long as Yveltal is active, Pokemon tools don't have any effect, so that Seismitoad would have gone down next round if Yveltal would have been able to attack another time. So, smart move by Manuel. Now that Yveltal is out of the way, his Seismitoad is up to 220 HP, and also his Float Stone is working again. Oh, Manuel dodged the bullet there. Not sure how many Yveltal Oliver is playing. I think both Yveltal are now in his discard pile. So now he has to go the route of attacking twice. And I think this time he will have to attack with Manectric EX on his bench. There we go. Next Manectric, that's the Assault Laser. It's going to deal 120 damage. Doesn't matter, 60 would have done already. And now, what else is good? No, he's not doing anything else. 2 more prize cards, and actually Oliver would take down this match. Manuel now deciding to promote his Giratina EX. Oh, that's a tough one. He's drawing some energy removal with Team Flare Grunt, but Oliver has more than enough energy on his side of the field.
Anything Oliver can still do to rescue himself?
Well, currently Oliver is looking good. He climbed his way out of a hole in which he wasn't able to deal any damage, and 2 Yveltal attacks were able to deal 120 damage each to Seismitoad EX and also the Giratina. And now, if Oliver is able to play a Lysander next turn, he's going to be able to knock out that Seismitoad on the bench and leave himself 1-0 ahead against Manuel, the World Champion qualifier.
So what do we have here?
So this looks like a Versus Seeker. Maybe he's thinking about playing AZ, trying to get that Seismitoad off the field. The card didn't leave his hand, so he's still allowed to not play it. Now he has to play it. But again, he's
back to Lysander.
He's going aggressive again, so Manuel has taken very aggressive approaches to this match. Now looking to knock out a Shaman. He can knock it out if he has a double Colorless or a double Dragon Energy, and he will have to find it with this Shaman. Oh, it's not there yet. Oh, there it is. However, we see there is a Versus Seeker in Oliver's hand. There's no way for Manuel to remove that Versus Seeker from his hand because he's played his support already. I don't think Manuel is playing red card, and that would mean that Oliver has this game sealed already. Manuel will have to get rid of both Shaman and his Seismitoad to not allow Oliver to draw the last two prize cards in his next turn. I don't see it. I don't see any way for Manuel to come back here.
Well, very great comeback.
Indeed, indeed it was. Nice mechanic from that Evil Tile, I have to say. Very well played by Oliver, putting on pressure on two Pokemon EX, leaving Manuel with the decision, do I pick up Absol, being aggressive? Or was that? Was only a turn? What was that?
Well, he played a Lozanda.
Manuel decided, yeah, there's the Versus Seeker. It doesn't really matter what happened right there. I was a little curious. Here's the Lysander, and that's the game for Oliver. He decides to go with that Seismitoad, showing, hey, that was nice work. His Evil Tile put in, and Manuel is being saying, what just happened to me? Manuel had a very bad start in the beginning, and kind of climbed his way back with Giratina EX, leaving Oliver unable to deal any damage. And then his Evil Tile sealed the deal, putting too much pressure on Manuel. So now, with Oliver being one up, I have to say I'm curious to see if Manuel is going to be a little bit more defensive in the second round, as he had quite some decisions where he could either pick up one of his damaged Pokemon or his Absol, and he always decided to be aggressive, picking up that Absol, moving damage around so that he could knock out Pokemon on Oliver's side, but it turned out hitting him afterwards as he left his Pokemon on the field, and 3 clean EX knockouts were able to seal the win for Oliver in round number 1.
Yeah, I'm sure we're about to see very interesting matches in this best of 3. He will have to adjust his play a little bit, but there was no overwhelming dominance. It went from left to right.
Well, that's absolutely the beauty of this current meta game, I have to say. The trading card game meta game is very much equal out. You can have several decks that won't be dominating the whole field. You really have to do a meta game analysis before you go into a tournament like this one and choose the deck that is going to come out on top, and even then you can find yourself in a bad matchup once in a while. So that makes it really, really interesting for those players out there to, first of all, come up with the right deck before you go to this kind of event. But on the other hand, that will mean that even if you decide to go with the wrong deck maybe, or you're the underdog in terms of the field, that still will leave you as ahead of many other players out there, as we have so many different decks out there. Please make sure to check out our coverage that's on our website, because we'll be doing a whole meta game analysis so that you will not only see a couple of deck lists from the very best players here, but you will also see a breakdown of how many players played how many different decks. So let's jump right back into round number 2. Manuel against Oliver. Both players still very much into this tournament because both won their first 2 games. You will have to make it to the top 8. That's going to be our cut, top 8. And as you said, how many players do we have again in the Masters division?
So we have 45 players in the Masters division. So only 8 out of them is going to be really tough.
So most certainly both will go for the win here. I don't think, well, a draw could be fine, I guess. But you really want to win those early games, especially if you're Oliver now. He doesn't have a basic Pokemon, and Manuel doesn't either. So both players shuffling in their hand, draw 7 new cards.
So it will be very interesting to see how, especially Manuel, approaches.
Yeah,
Oliver now.
If I'm Manuel, maybe I would be a little bit more conservative with your super scoop ups. He was unlucky with a lot of his flips. I have to admit as well, he flipped a lot of tails, and he might be regretting that a little bit. So as luck equals out, maybe this round number 2 will be his round where he's going to hit some crucial crushing hammers and also the super scoop ups. Because for Manuel's deck to really be dominant against a energy acceleration deck that Oliver's playing, he will have to flip heads in the early rounds to not allow Oliver to have 2 energy cards on his field at the same time. That will allow Manuel to discard many or enough energy cards to not let Oliver attack or launch any big attacks. So let's see if Manuel has a little bit more luck this round.
Well, yeah, those coin flips are very important indeed. And wasn't there a time where coin flip cards were a little bit less played?
Yeah, actually, if you look at the history of the trading card game, especially in the early beginnings, if you look at the base set, there were cards like Crushing Hammers, energy removal they were called, that could do the exact same thing as Crushing Hammer, but without flipping the coin. So because energy removals were so annoying and arguably one of the worst cards ever printed in a trading card game, as were so frustrating and everyone had to play them, they decided to have luck involved, make players think twice about playing them. But decks like the ones Manuel playing are just so much stronger. Even if only 50% of these cards hit, they are just so much stronger.
So we see Manuel starting here with the Seismitoad X and Oliver with the Manectric X.
Look at how Manuel couldn't be fast enough to attach that Headringer to that opposing Manectric EX. He was happy to draw that card right now because he knows if he wants to play the energy removal card, he will have to be fast right now. And he's playing Hoopa EX. He's drawing so many cards because Hoopa's ability allows you to get free Pokemon EX out.
So Hoopa EX, one of the newer cards?
Yes, it released in Asian Origins 2 sets ago.
Oh, okay.
And he decided to play Giratina and that followed by Shaman. Fighting, but here you can see Manuel is powering up here. He has much better cards compared to last game. Now another super scoop up. Finally, heads he will be thinking. He's playing Shaman again. I was wondering maybe he was picking up Shaman and playing in Professor Sycamore, discarding it in the progress just to hide it from Oliver's Manectric EX. But he decided to play it again. So again, playing aggressively. Oliver's hand, I think I can't see a supporter card in Oliver's hand. That is looking awful. Is there a Shaman there? Does he have a Shaman there?
There is another, there's Mega Manectric.
Ah, there is one, okay. That's his only hope to get out of this awful hand. He has to play a couple of cards now. Maybe even playing Lysander, he's thinking about it. He could promote Hoopa EX, slowing down Manuel a little bit. Yeah, he does exactly that. And now with Shaman he's able to draw 4 more cards. Yeah, if I'm Oliver, it's tough now. Where do I attach that energy? And
So Manuel clearly has the edge at the beginning.
Manuel had a very explosive turn 1. You want to find that Hoopa EX. You don't want to find it active. Oh, he decides not to attach. Oh, he attached one to the bench. I didn't see that. But he decides there's nothing more that I can do. But he's fearing that turn number 2. Because if Manuel is able to promote his Giratina, and another Crushing Hammer Tails. Yeah, now we see that Sycamore. And is that an escape rope in his hand? I think so. And it's another Crushing Hammer. I think Manuel is going to be able to retreat that Hoopa EX and attack. That's what you want. You want round number 2. You want to be able to attack with your Giratina. Another Tails. Wow, yeah, there's the escape rope. A little bit hesitant to play it, but here we go. Oliver decides first. He decides that he is going to promote his Yveltal, and that's pretty much sealing the deal for Yveltal. It's going to get 110 damage now from Giratina. It's not going to be able to power up fast enough to hit back. Oh, that should be 110 damage. Oh no, because Yveltal is active, his ability, as you can see it right here on the left hand side, as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, each Pokemon tool in play does not have any effect whatsoever. So I keep forgetting those effects. They're little, but they can matter so much.
Well, Yveltal's effect is huge in my opinion. But why did he decide to sacrifice the Yveltal here?
Well, his other option would be an easy knockout from Shaman, because if Yveltal would not have been active, Giratina could have one-hit KO'd that Shaman for 2 easy prize cards for Manuel. And on the other hand, he needs to be the first one attacking with Manectric EX on the bench to be able to win the trade-off against Giratina. If Giratina is attacking first, Manectric will be going down to 70 HP. Manectric attacks for 120, and all of a sudden Giratina can knock it out in the next turn. However, maybe he's not sacrificing it at all, because he played a Max Potion, healing Yveltal and evolving to Mega Manectric EX. Super Scooper from Manuel. Is it Tails again? Wow, Manuel really unlucky. Yeah. Really unlucky. We can't hear the player's voice, but I can imagine what Manuel might be saying, and he might be kicking himself for flipping so many tails. When I was first looking into Yveltal, I was always reading Friday Night when I looked at this ability, but it's actually not. Oh, okay. If I'm flipping tails that often, Manuel says I'm going to go the safe route and just play AZ on my Hoopa EX. And he discarded it with his Ultra Ball. He says, I've had enough of this Hoopa EX shenanigans. Now it's gone. You can't Lysander it out anymore. I'm sick of it. There's another Shaman, and that's aggressive again. We know these are easy targets for any Manectric. But it looks like Manuel thinks that his hand is so bad he has to play that Shaman EX. Wow, that's going to be interesting. It's going to come down to how many Lysanders will Oliver be able to play. Looking at his deck list, he does play only 1 Lysander, but 4 versus Seekers, and 1 Escape Rope. So 1 Pokemon is going to get hit. And Manuel just casually throws out that Seismitoad. Like, here, take this. I don't care if it's going to get hit by 110 damage of that Mega Manectric, and Oliver now playing in Hoopa EX on his own.
So Shamans here are too important to sacrifice?
I think Manuel believes that even if Seismitoad is going to be hit by 110 damage, he might be able to pick it up next turn. Either by eyeing out that AZ again with Versus Seeker, picking it up with that supporter card, or flipping heads for once with his Super Scoop Up. He has to believe that one day I gotta be lucky and flip one of these heads. I don't know what heads looks like anymore, but one day I'm gonna find it again.
Well, it's about time.
It's about time, and Manuel thinks that might be next turn. And Oliver also getting aggressive. He is playing another Shaman. Those Shamans are easy targets for Manuel as well, with that Fighting Fury belt, of course, attached to Giratina EX. Acro Bike, drawing 2 cards. You have to discard one of them. And what's it going to be? We can't see those two cards. Interesting. He decides to discard Versus Seeker. I believe that Versus Seeker would be his best friends in this late game. I don't know how many he's played now.
He has 4 in his deck. Maybe he believes he'll draw another one.
Well, he needs to for 2 more Lysanders, that's for sure. Manuel will be like, let me shuffle that deck to make sure you're not drawing any of these Versus Seekers anymore. There's a battle compressor. It would be interesting to see his deck now, but Oliver is keeping it a secret from us. That's a Darkness Energy, Lightning Energy, and it's up to 3 cards, so might be satisfied with it. Another good shuffle from Manuel. As we see that Oliver actually decided to discard 3 energy. Mega Manectric is attacking, and now I'm really curious to see what Manuel's approach is going to be. There's a Crushing Hammer, and I also see a Super Scoop Up. Escape Rope, and Oliver now has a decision to make. It's still 6 prizes, it's amazing. Both players still left with 6 prize cards. And now he decides it's time to sacrifice that Evil Tile. It's not a bad thing because Manuel might be forced to play the 7 prize card game, as Evil Tile is only giving up 1 prize card. That's a heads. Crushing Hammer won't be so important, I think. If Oliver finds another Lysander, he might be able to attack with Mega Manectric without missing a turn. Knocking out Evil Tile in the progress. It's now Mega Manectric time again for Oliver, and let's see if, yeah, there's a Versus Seeker. I think there's a Lysander coming our way very soon. Let me look for that Lysander my discard pile, Oliver says, and there it is. Looking nice and clean, orange hair, all dyed up. And it's going to be Seismitoad, and now the clock is ticking for Manuel. He knows that now that Seismitoad is going down to Mega Manectric attack, those 2 Shaman EX are just an easy target. Wow. Oliver doing a great job working around Giratina EX's abilities. It's Chaos Wheel attacks. Another Giratina. I think Manuel knows now he has to get rid of those Shamans. Another Judge. He's hoping Oliver has to run out of Versus Seekers anytime soon. Let me shuffle his deck again so he doesn't draw them. I think Oliver played at least 2 Versus Seekers already. So you'll have to find the 2 remaining ones.
So Oliver got himself back into position.
Oliver is in a commanding position right now, but his hand was very bad. So maybe Manuel can profit from that. He's dealing 110 damage, threatening a knockout next round on that Mega Manectric. There we go. Oh, a Professor Sycamore, but if he plays that, he's not able to play Lysander this turn. There's no Shaman left in his deck, so even with his Ultra Ball, he can't draw any more cards. Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one now, yeah. He might want to attack with Manectric now and also threaten that Giratina on the active side, attaching more energy just to make sure it's really able to attack next turn. I think he has to play Sycamore now. Yeah, I don't think there's any other option now. There we go, Sycamore. That's awful. Oh, that's awful. No more Versus Seeker. No No more Versus Seeker. What is he doing? He's eyeing out another Ultra Ball. Maybe he just wants to walk through his deck, thin it out a little bit, and count the amount of Versus Seekers left in there. Oh, I can't see it. He decides to go with Evital EX, also a nice option, as both Giratinas will have plenty of energy. If he gets enough energy acceleration, Evital EX can potentially one-hit KO Giratina. But now he has to get that Mega Manectric out of the way, attack for 120 damage, threatening that knockout for the next turn. Now does Manuel have... Oh no, he doesn't have a Lysander. He's drawing one, so there's one in his hand. He's not going to get the knockout this turn. Another headringer.
So this match still stays really close. Or do you see someone here being in a total dominant position?
Now Manuel is still struggling to pick up those KOs.
Yeah.
So if he is not able to get any absolute shenanigans or shaman knockouts going, it always means that he needs 3 more turns to win. However, Oliver is 2 turns away from winning this, and one of his turns just started. So now he is going to be able to knock out that Giratina, and he has to put himself into a position where he has 1 Lysander next turn. So he has to find, yeah, that's why he's discarding all these cards now. He has to find another Versus Seeker and keep it in his hand. And there's one, we can see it already. Now he only has to fear a judge coming from Manuel. He's playing some more cards just to thin out his deck. Yeah, he's not allowed to pick another Trainer's Mail, so he has to pick that Max Potion. That Max Potion might also come in handy. So I think it's going to be very tough for Manuel to bounce back. He'll have to get rid of both his Shamans next turn. That's not going to happen. He has to pick up another KO next turn. He has to find another double Dragon Energy to do so. I think Oliver has pretty much sealed this game. I don't see Manuel winning. I don't know what you should do. You should promote that Shaman, first of all, because it has a Floatstone. Yeah, no, he does. Oh, there's a double Dragon Energy. That's good.
Well, last game we also had a great comeback from Oliver.
He now has to hope. He has to play that Judge, I think. I think he knows he has to play that Judge. Or he has to pick up both Shamans in one turn. Otherwise, he's going to lose that game, and I don't see how he can do it. He has a Lysander. He can be aggressive again, but once he plays that Lysander, the game is over. He doesn't know it yet, but the game is over. Oh, he doesn't have a Versus Seeker, so he can't play that Judge. I thought he was a Versus Seeker. He's looking for Professor Burke's observations. And that would be game 2. That would be game and match for Oliver. He would be 3 wins out of 3 matches. That would be huge for him. Yeah, Manuel is out of options, I believe.
Yeah.
So timeout has been called. Oliver is ahead already.
So what does timeout mean?
So timeout means now, once timeout has been called, the active player ends his turn, and then there are 3 more turns to be played. But because those 2 players have started a little bit later because we had to get going our coverage stream here, so actually, Andre, it's our fault. So these 2 players will have some more rounds to play, but I believe that actually these are the last 2 turns we'll be seeing in this match anyway, so we don't have to worry about timeouts just yet.
Yeah, as I said, really bad luck from Manuel with his coin flips. I think it could have looked a little bit different if he would have had 1 or 2 of those.
Oh, that's true.
But he still has a chance in this tournament. Maybe we'll see him later again.
He's not giving up yet, and you have to give it to him. Nice fighting spirit. He's flipping for Professor Birch. Observation. It doesn't matter anymore. He doesn't know it, but he flipped another tails. Oh, that's a super scoop up. Can he pick up 2 shamans? I don't know. Does he have another one? Does he have another one? That would be amazing. I haven't seen it. Does he have another super scoop up? I think, is it an acrobike he has in hand? If he's attacking now, yep, that will knock out that Manectric. Don't know what he's pointing at. Does he play another? No, that wouldn't make any sense. I don't know. I can't see this card he's currently pondering. Is that an Ultra Ball? It is. There's another super scoop up. If he somehow finds a way of getting it, flipping heads, removing that shaman from the field. Oh no, he's playing another shaman in the progress. No, that won't help him. Yeah, no.
That's kind of a misplay, wasn't it?
He has another idea, I guess. He wants to pick up that Absol again, I believe, and there it is. And now he's playing it again. 110, 140, doing the math here. I'm not really sure what he wants to do with the Absol, to be honest. 140 on the Mega Manectric and 80 on... Yeah, he's just knocking it out. Yeah, and that's game. He doesn't know it yet, but it's game. Manuel played his heart out during the last round. It's versus Seeker, Lysander, and Scoop Up.
And I think we see the finish.
Great game by Oliver. Fantastic matchup for him as well, but well done after all. He had a slow start in the beginning of round number 1. Fought his way back. Well-deserved victory, in my opinion. 2-0. And Manuel has to be thinking, damn, if I would have been able to flip a couple of more heads, I might have had a chance to win this one.
Absolutely. Oliver deserved winner. Of course, Manuel could have had a little bit more luck, but...
Oh, Manuel not so happy here. I think he missed the handshake here at the end. Not sure what's going on there.
That's not very sportsmanlike.
I hope that was just a misunderstanding, but very well done. Very hard-fought match for Oliver. I think the well-deserved win after all in round number 3. We now have another full day of Pokemon action ahead of us. We'll be back with some VGC action, returning with the top 8 of today's Masters Division. And we hope to see you soon on our YouTube channel, so stay tuned for some more Pokemon action.
Stay tuned.